walks away. Despite this, Red comments that he will definitely destroy him. After that at night, Choa is walking through the streets when she receives a call from her mother. Her mother asks where she is and mentions that Arthur told her Choa goes looking for Saejin every day after school. Choa tries to hide the truth, but when her mother insists she come home immediately, Choa agrees. As she turns to head home, a child calls out to her from behind, asking if she's talking about Saejin. The child turns out to be Cheon, the same antlion who had attacked the Bug Reaper group before. He tells her that he knows where Saejin is and starts leading her to another location. On the way, Choa asks who he is, and he mistakenly says he's an INSECTOR senior. Pleased with this, Choa asks how Saejin is doing with his job. Cheon replies that Saejin is stuck with Hanag and won't let go, describing it as a kind of disease. After hearing about her, Choa feels reassured and tells Cheon she needs to go now. But Cheon suddenly reveals that the real reason he brought her here wasn't because of Saejin. It's because he's hungry, and now he plans to eat her. As he summons some larvae, Choa gets scared. Cheon explains that he fled for his life, started eating humans, and finally embraced his identity as an antlion. Choa starts running, but Cheon quickly transforms into his INSECTOR form and uses his ability to catch her. As he sends the larvae to attack, Yejin suddenly appears, using her thread ability to cut them all down. She kicks Antlion away and frees Choa from his trap. Feeling confused, Antlion asks Yejin who she is. She replies simply that she is Silk, and by ordering Choa to run, she starts fighting with Antlion. As some of the larvae attack her, she effortlessly grabs them with her threads and cuts them down on the spot. Antlion grows more confused and asks why she suddenly showed up while he was eating. He realizes she's the one who destroyed the Zagana, but he's curious about her second companion, wondering how she plans to defeat him alone. In response, Yejin pulls out a bug pill, specifically designed to deal with celestial insectors like him. Seeing the pill, Antlion becomes worried and orders her to put it down. Without hesitation, she swallows the pill, which only fuels Antlion's anger. He throws a long arm attack at her, but to his surprise, she grows stronger. In an instant, she cuts through his long arms with just her hair. She leaps at him, delivering a powerful kick that cuts through his actual arms. Despite this, Antlion refuses to back down. He launches a long tongue attack at her, wrapping it around her neck. However, he grows even more worried when he sees that the attack doesn't even leave a scratch. She calmly tells him that his attack won't affect her because she's become stronger. She then grabs his tongue with her threads and slices it off. Antlion screams in pain and tries to escape by burrowing into the ground. He vows to return for revenge, but Yejin isn't about to let him go. She quickly spreads more thread nets underground and tears him into pieces. After finishing him off, she feels satisfaction, realizing how much stronger she has become. She has even taken down a celestial INSECTOR. Just then, Park appears in his INSECTOR form and challenges her to the second round. Yejin feels a bit scared at first, noticing Kamison isn't with her, but she quickly reassures herself, knowing that with her new powers, she can handle this fight on her own. With that thought, she quickly leaps at him, launching a hair attack and declaring that she'll take care of him now. Park tries to block the attack with his twin swords, but the force of her hair shatters both swords instantly. He realizes that if he lets his guard down, he could die right here. He draws his other twin swords and mutters that the effects of the drug are starting to end. As he begins counting, Yejin gets closer, aiming to kick him. Just as he expected, the drug's power fades, and the powerful hair from her head vanishes. Feeling surprised, she realizes what's happening. Then Park tells her that the bug pill's effect doesn't last long. By putting the sword on his neck, he orders her to come with him quietly. Meanwhile, Kamison is sitting at home with his grandmother and watching TV. Suddenly he receives a message from Cheo, who asks him if he will be going to school tomorrow. Kamison thinks about it for a moment and decides he's still not good at controlling the swarm, so he doesn't need to go. He then texts Yejin asking about her. Meanwhile, Yejin is at Club Sixshot, where Park has brought her. A group of INSECTORs is beating her badly. As Park watches, he recognizes her as the same girl who came to the club the other day. He then hears a sound coming from her purse. He checks her phone and sees a message from Black Ant. Back at Kamison's house, he tells his grandmother that he's heading to bed and won't be going to school tomorrow. As he checks his phone, he notices a new message with a photo. Feeling surprised, he sees a picture of Yejin's broken helmet, with a Club Sixshot card placed on it. At the club, Park approaches Yejin, who is locked in a cage after the fight, and asks why she's so weak. He notes that the bug pills are gone because another girl took them all. Then he asks her why she's doing all this. Yejin replies that her goal is insect extermination. Park is surprised by her answer but adds that he spared her because in the end, they're all the same. He tells her that the next match will start soon, and it's a special one for her, so she needs to get ready. Meanwhile, in the battleground, the referee, Jaja, begins announcing the match. He explains that 10 participants will enter the ring, but only one will survive. He first introduces the protagonist of this match, Yejin. As she enters, Jaja explains the rules. Every minute, an opponent will be added. If they can't kill their opponent within a minute, the enemies will continue to grow, leading to a cruel death. Then he announces the second player, and the match begins. The Insector leaps toward Yejin, aiming to attack. Meanwhile, another Insector, Red, is practicing in his cage, with Park standing beside him. Park tells Red that he's the 10th player in the match. Red looks at him seriously, and asks if he really wants him to participate in such an unreasonable game. He suggests that Park should use him as the star of the main event, but Park replies that if he did, Red would kill all the other players and ruin the business. Red adds that he wants to kill Park and Kong, the boss. Just as they're talking, Park's phone rings, and he's shocked to hear the news that the elevator used by the VIPs to descend is missing. Park quickly orders Red to get ready, as his opponent has arrived. Meanwhile, in the battleground, the referee is surprised to see that Yejin has easily defeated her 4th opponent. He quickly announces that the 5th contestant, Queen Jack, has arrived. Jack attacks with swift moves, overpowering Yejin and throwing her to the ground. As Yejin grows exhausted, 3 more contestants appear and surround her. Just as a minute passes, the referee prepares to call in the 9th player. However, to his shock, the head of the 9th player is suddenly cut off in front of him. Then Kamison enters the arena in his powerful Insector form. The referee strictly asks who he is, commenting that unregistered players aren't allowed to fight. Kamison orders him to stay quiet, then throws a fire attack with his hand, which melts the referee's arm. Afterward, he demands to know where Yejin is and orders them to bring her to him. He begins shooting at the other Insectors, but suddenly Yejin calls out to him from behind the crowd. She warns him that if he continues, he'll risk dragging her into his attack. Though happy to see him, her expression quickly shifts when Park appears and places a sword against her neck. Kamison hesitates to shoot because she's there. Park orders the other Insectors to attack and kill Kamison. As they approach, Kamison activates more power, effortlessly taking them down. Seeing this, Jack jumps at him and presses him to the ground. Park orders her to bring Kamison to him. However, to his surprise, Jack's body suddenly bursts into pieces, and Kamison emerges from it. Realizing that Kamison has grown stronger, Park asks if he's consumed any larvae. Kamison orders him to hand over Yejin, calling her his emergency food. Meanwhile, the crowd grows furious at Park, demanding their money back since all the Insectors are dead, and they had placed bets on them. Park angrily tells them he will return their money, but only if they place even bigger bets. Kamison realizes that Park intends to fight him alone now, and he confidently declares he will finish him quickly. However, Park tells him that he's not his true opponent. The real opponent is behind him, the 10th player of the battle. Kamison turns around and sees Red, the same opponent he fought earlier. He asks if he is seeking revenge, and Red confirms it before leaping at him to attack. But to his surprise, Red changes direction midair and lands a powerful punch directly on Park's face instead. Kamison feels confused about this, and Red tells him that he has observed everything from above and assures him he can leave now. He promises to handle Park on his own. Kamison agrees, and by grabbing Yejin, he quickly heads out. Behind them, Park transforms into his Insector form and begins battling Red. As Kamison rushes with Yejin, she asks how he managed to get down here without the keycard. Kamison casually replies that he broke the elevator. Yejin is surprised and urges him to get her out of there quickly. However, as Kamison starts climbing, he senses something odd. To his shock, Kong, the boss, suddenly appears and delivers a hard punch to Kamison's face, breaking his face armor. Kong glares at him, demanding to know how he dared destroy the club's property. He recalls the moment when he was about to eat Nosu's Insector. But his servant interrupts, informing him that someone has destroyed the elevator. Reacting quickly, Kong arrives and starts fighting Kamison. He grabs Kamison by the neck and throws him toward the wall. Kamison screams in pain, but Kong orders him to stay quiet and punches him in the face. As Kong grabs Kamison's head, Kamison hurls an ant's shell at him, landing a blow to Kong's face. However, the attack has no effect. Just as Kong is about to retaliate, Yejin uses her threads to grab his hand. For the first time, Yejin pushes herself to her limits. She realizes that even if she pulls out all her threads, it still won't be enough. Kong laughs and orders them to give their best. At the battleground, Red beats Park, telling him to stand up because he doesn't attack opponents who are already down. Suddenly, the wall crashes open and Kong throws Kamison and Yejin into the ring. Both Red and Park are stunned by his arrival. Kong orders Park to stop acting weak, reminding him that he is his subordinate. The crowd is shocked to see Kong in person and comments that he looks like a thug. Kong asks the Insectors if they're hungry and mentions that he was in the middle of a meal before being interrupted. He then orders Park to open the ceiling. As the ceiling opens, humans and larvae start falling from above. Kamison and Yejin are shocked and step in front of Kong. Kamison tells Yejin and Red to stop Kong from eating the bug pills and the larvae, while he takes care of the rest. Yejin worries about how they can handle such a massive opponent. But Red reassures her, telling her to leave it to him. As Kong reaches for the bug pill in the larvae, Red leaps toward him to attack. Kamasan calls out from behind, telling Yejin to run because he came here to save her. However, Yejin refuses, saying she'll hold Kong off until he absorbs the larva. Kamasan reluctantly agrees and orders all the black ants to emerge and eat the bug pills. While the black ants start devouring the pills, Red tries to punch Kong. But Kong surprises him by grabbing his hand with his teeth and easily throws him to the ceiling. Seeing this, Yejin quickly forms a net with her thread to catch Red and tells him to jump back by assuring that she'll back him up. Red leaps at Kong once more, using all his strength to land a punch to Kong's face and sends him back. However, Kong just laughs, revealing that he's already consumed the bug pill. Both Red and Yejin are stunned by this, and Kong quickly lunges forward to attack them, and throws a simple punch from a distance that sends Red crashing into the wall behind him. Red realizes that the wind pressure from Kong's punch alone caused such destruction, and that even without his INSECTOR form, Kong is incredibly powerful. As Kong steps back to eat more bug pills, Red charges at him again, attempting to land another punch from behind. But Kong effortlessly kicks Red in the chest and breaks his armor. Kong begins eating the bug pills again, consuming nearly 5 of them. However, when he reaches for another, he is confused to see the larva transforming back into a human. The bug pills inside it are quickly devoured by a swarm of black ants. Kamasan orders the ants to return to him, and as he consumes the 10th bug pill, Kong grows angry and comments to kill him before he can fully digest the pills. In response, Kamasan commands the ants to form around him, creating 10 protective shells. He then assembles a powerful weapon on his arm and declares that he will devour Kong. Looking at him, Kong comments that facing just 11 of them will be an easy victory for him. Kamasan orders the ants to move and attack. As the ants close in, Kong easily knocks them away and tells Kamasan to show him his true strength. One of the ants creates a massive hand and leaps to punch, but Kong effortlessly dodges it. At this moment, several ants grab Kong's feet, while 2 others form powerful weapons in their hands. Following Kamasan's command, the ants fire at Kong, triggering a huge explosion that even surprises Yejin. As the dust clears, Kamasan is shocked to see that Kong isn't defeated. Instead, he is transformed into his INSECTOR form, Igosatu. Kong declares that he will kill him with his own hands, and Kamasan quickly orders the 2 ants to fire at him again, but Kong punches them with full force and sends them back. Realizing the situation is getting worse, Kamasan orders the ants to regroup, but it's too late because Kong has already approached him and pushes him hard against the wall. After beating him mercilessly, he grabs him by the head and comments that he's already dead. But just then, Kamasan commands the ants to eat him. This feels Kong confused as the ants swiftly leap toward Kamasan and begin devouring him. Kamasan screams in pain, and Kong remarks that he's committing suicide. However, to his shock, a massive and powerful ant monster rises up in front of him. Meanwhile, Park is standing up, and an INSECTOR informs him that the boss has left the arena. Park realizes that the higher-ups must have already been notified, and that the executive of the celestial insects, Hexagon, will definitely arrive. He orders the INSECTOR to take the money and leave because this club is finished for today. Back in the arena, Kong resumes fighting Kamasan, using his full power to attack. After landing a strong blow that knocks Kamasan down, Kong is surprised when Kamasan leaps back up to attack again. Kamasan unleashes a laser attack, pushing Kong back, but Kong dismisses his attacks as simple and retaliates with a powerful punch that causes the entire area to collapse. Yejin watches in surprise, noticing that Kamasan is still fighting. Kong taunts him, saying that no one can defeat him like this. He lands another punch, severing Kamasan's hand. As Kong continues to break more of Kamasan's body, he feels satisfied. But to his surprise, Kamasan's body begins to reassemble, and he leaps at Kong again. Kong states that he will break Kamasan no matter how many times he comes at him. However, when he attempts to punch again, his own hand cuts down. Kong watches in shock as the ants begin devouring him and he feels angry. But as he attacks again, the ants effortlessly dodge his blows. He grows confused, realizing that every time he tries to break Kamasan, he feels as if he's being consumed more and more. Suddenly, all parts of his body begin to sever on their own, as the ants activate their magic. Kong recalls facing a powerful INSECTOR before, and the feeling he's experiencing now reminds him of that moment. He gets scared and screams in pain as the black ants devour every part of his body. Once Kong is completely consumed, the ants regroup around Kamasan, who now exudes an even more dangerous aura. Both Yejin and Red are also stunned by the transformation. They notice that his eyes have turned red, and he seems to have lost control of himself. Kamasan grabs both of them and threatens to eat them. In response, Red punches him and Yejin desperately urges him to regain his senses. However, Kamasan releases a swarm of ants toward them. As the ants begin their magic outside, inside Kamasan's body, the real Kamasan is kneeling before a group of black ants. He watches in surprise as a red ant appears and kills the black ants, telling Kamison that